Ah, you caught me. Nope, just doing what we do. We always like to take pictures of our finished machine. Do you know that this Space Invaders is actually only our 8th deluxe Space Invaders that we've sold? We sold 42 of the original Space Invaders, that's in the blue cabinet, but only 8 of these didn't have as many come through. Deluxe Space Invaders. I'm going to show you all the differences. Original Space Invaders has the same screen over and over again, it just gets faster. But Deluxe adds the element of color, fake color. There's actually a piece of plastic in there with 5 different colors on it. Red at the top, orange, yellow, blue, and green, I think, yeah, something like that. But look at that really neat planet projecting through a mirror, a double mirror onto the back. It looks really sharp, doesn't it? And so does this beautiful control panel and this cabinet. We've put blue T-molding on. As a matter of fact, I have to do a little snip right here on the top. I need one last snip, but the artwork is just stunning on this. Stephen did his work. He had to touch up the red and match all the colors, but you just would not know how nice it is. But I want to show you. See that effect here? When you see the game. Let me just start it so you can actually physically see it. Big difference is the men drop down on you. See how they walked down on you? And then the bases have a little 1 on it, meaning you're on wave 1. And when you finish this wave, then the men go, it sends an SOS. So there's not a whole lot of changes. They only had to add 1 more ROM. So this game board actually has 5 game ROMs instead of 4. Don't worry, the ROMs only had 2 bytes of information. There's not much at all. There's that saucer here. Let me come back here. I want to show you though how the effect is done. A piece of cardboard that is fluorescent lit. This is a black light blue, so it's a black light, but in fact it has a glow to it that you can see rather than the dark black lights, and it shines through this color planet here, or the space station, I'm sorry, the space station here, okay? But then it makes the black light glow really sharp. This is two-way mirror that is cleaned. A lot of times I've seen these machines and the mirror is so dirty that you can't see much of anything. And that just sits in there. It's not attached, it just sits there like that. And that's something. Now down here, let's go down here and look, Frank. What we've done is something that does have to happen to some of these old black and white games. Black and white monitor was shot. And rather than fuss with it, we've put in a Wells Garner 7000. Matter of fact, we have one last chiclet to put in here. This is the return ground. So we're all done this though. We've mounted the metal plate and the chassis on the side wall so it's easy to remove for service. It's all been rebuilt with caps. So it's actually a color monitor, but we're only using it to produce a black and white picture. As a matter of fact, if you look back here, there's the video. All 3 color wires are hooked up, but when it goes into the monitor chassis, all 3 wires are combined to make black and white picture. And that is this right here. See, the 3 wires go in all together, and there's our return ground. Isn't that something? So, only 2 wires for the picture, but we get this crisp, clear picture. That's what we like about the 7000 chassis. You can't use the older chassis because the sync will never lock in really well. You have to use the 7000s because that has a combined sync. So that's what we suggest if you ever have to change it. You can get 7000 monitors very easily. It matches up to the same mounting holes on the tube hold up the metal frame. You just have to mount the bracket on the side here. Look, original logic board. These are precious commodities now, guys. So you gotta put a brand new power supply in your game instead of the old retarded one over here. Brand new power supply means you get nice, clean, quality voltages for the 3 voltages this supplies. That way your logic board gets all 3 voltages on the RAMs. Did you know the old power supply, if it loses one of the 3 voltages, it could blow up these RAM chips right here. See these row of RAM chips? They're all soldered in. Oh, they're hell on wheels to change. You don't want to get involved. But you know what? Once those RAM chips go, you have to change them and you put a socket in. If you put a new power supply in, you eliminate that. Here are those logic chips right here, the ROMs. There's 5 of them for Deluxe Space Invaders, 4 for Space Invaders, and each holds, I think, 2K. And the good old 8080 processor. That was the first processor, Frank. What a great chip. Of course, it was followed by the Z80, which is a marvelous chip too. Now, that's the video board. This board does all the sounds, the background sound, everything. These chips and sockets here, we've changed. We have all new ones in. These are the different sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess 10 different sounds. Here's the volume control, and there's the amplifier. And these dip switches are to change different settings. There's extra connectors here if you have a cocktail table, for instance. Great board set if you put a new power supply in. If you'd leave the old shitty one in there, you get what you deserve when it goes bad. Eh? Oh look, dinner, by the way. Dinner. You have it every... Oh, anyway. This is going to Alabama on Wednesday. And I think our customer is going to be very, very pleased. Doesn't that picture look terrific? It's razor sharp. Just need a better player. Game's playing fantastic. I think our customer is going to be tickled to death when he gets this game. Good. Frank, we're done.
That's a wrap.
We're in the yellow pages under amusements.
Living is good, isn't it, folks? That's all for now. Good night.